Hello, I am just doing this to kind of record my first experience at locals. I went to my first locals on Saturday and Sunday. Um, it's a really nice experience. I finally got to play on paper for the first time after playing Duel Links and Master Duel for God knows how long. And I just wanted to kind of talk about my experience, show off the deck I'm playing. I know this looks awful. I don't know anything about centering or camera work in general or lighting. So it's just a little quick, well, maybe it's not going to be quick, but a little just personal thing I wanted to do for fun. But yeah, I'm going to start with a little overview of the deck. As you can probably tell, I played Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes is the deck I'm kind of focusing on right now. I know it's been done to death, but it really is like the best time to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a nostalgic deck that is honestly really good. And I held my own against really good players, pretty decent decks. And I felt like I played really well. So, yeah, I'll just get into it. So, for the engine, I'm playing 3 of the Maiden of White. This is one of your best fucking cards in the deck. Send it to the graveyard, set True Light. True Light basically gets you all the resources you want. You want to see this in your opening hand most often than not, but there's a lot of ways to search it. But that's an undisputable 3 of. Then we have the other undisputable 3 of, which is Sage with Eyes of Blue. This searches your Maiden. This searches your Veiler for interruption or extension if you're in a pinch. It's probably the best normal summon in the deck, and what you want to see most often in your hands going either first or second. Just normal summon this, and usually the line is that you search for Maiden, you send Maiden to the graveyard, and you get your trap card, and you kind of get going from there. But yeah, Sage is really good. Then we have, we usually see when you're playing pure or on a budget, and it's the Neo Kaiser Seahorse. Neo Kaiser Seahorse is really good occasionally. Its effect lets you send a monster that mentions Blue Eyes in its text from deck to graveyard. So usually you would if you didn't have any Sage in your hand, you would usually just summon this and link it off right away into your Spirit Dragon, and we'll get into the extra deck later, but you would usually link it off into your Spirit with Eyes of Blue, and then you would activate effect of Spirit, Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 for Spirit of for Neo Kaiser, sorry, and then it's a really neat thing in which you can block, chain block with your Neo Kaiser the effect of Spirit, so they can't ash it. So they have to either do the imperm, or if they don't have the imperm, they they can't really negate the effect to search. They'd be negating the effect to send, and usually this is the effect you want to resolve. There are hands in which if you open just your only normal summon is Kaiser, you have to have both effects resolve, because you send Maiden to the grave with Kaiser, and then you can revive the Maiden with its own effect after tributing for a Blue Eyes. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. But yeah, this is the other normal summon I played in the deck. It's really good. It comes in the structure deck. This is going to be your core. Like these three monsters are going to be your core. If you're playing budget, if you picked up just three structure decks, I think it's really solid. Even in the build that I'm making right now, that's not completely pure. I'm planning to play Invoker. I am playing one of these just to search off one of the bestials, or after for extension with seals. But yep, that's the sort of like the Blue Eyes engine monsters done with. Now for the rest of the engine, we have 3 wishes, 3 roar, and I was playing 1 master. So the wishes, I see some people play this at 2. Sorry, that's a little out of frame there, but it's an Ash Blossom magnet. You are usually trying to bait the Ash Blossom before you even activate this, but it's really good because it discards for cost. You can send the Blue Eyes, you can send Jet Dragon, and then search 2. Search spell or trap, or search, and also search a light tuner to get your play started or extend even further. And then the effect in the graveyard, you can banish it to equip a extra deck monster to your Blue Eyes, and then either just synchro and get an effect from grave, or you can go into your Tyrant Dragon. But Wishes is really, really good. The other unconventional part of playing straight out of the structure deck is Roar. You usually see this at 1 in builds that have other engines, but pure, this gives you so much juice. I had a lot of moments playing against like Malice or decks that play Bestials where they banish my Blue Eyes, and I just drop this and bring back my Blue Eyes because it brings back from, it summons from deck, grave, or banishment, which apparently not a lot of people are aware of, because I got a lot of people just like doing a double take and kind of having to read my card a couple times. But this card is great. This would be one of the first engine cards I cut as I start getting my other engine. But 3 is really, really good when you're playing pure like this, like straight out of structure deck. It's really, really, really good. And for the last kind of like little piece of engine, aside from like generic cards, is Master with Ice with Blue. Master comes up occasionally. You normal summon it, and you can target a light tuner in the grave, bring it back to your hand. That's the effect that comes up the most. The second effect, you can shuffle a card from the graveyard and special summon a Blue Eyes, I believe. That didn't really come up at all. It's not that useful, but Master is really good when you're like in a long game. You had searched Master off of Sage, or you searched Master off of like your second wishes of the game. You drop this, you bring back your Sage, you normal summon it, or you use the effect to summon the Blue Eyes. There's a lot of options with this, and when you're playing pure, it's a really good option to have to kind of recycle more of your resources, because you get to recycle a lot of your Blue Eyes. And if your Maiden gets banished, for example, because your Maiden, since it comes back every time you summon a Blue Eyes, it's going to be your main target. They're your opponent's main target when it comes to banishing or kind of playing it out of the game, because of how good it is. Because it can set the trap from grave, from hand, and from deck, which is amazing. But yeah, I play Master. Sorry, I bumped the camera there, and sorry if it's a little wobbly. And then I played a 1-for-1. I've seen people play this, but it's kind of unconventional. I'm playing it because I just happen to have one in my collection. This is from like the original Fire King structure deck back in like what, 2010? I don't know when that came out, but it's kind of beat up. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's really good. Usually the use case for this is you let's say you have a blue eyes and in your hand, kind of bricked. You activate this, discard blue eyes for cost, and you special summon a maiden from the deck. And then when Maiden's in field, you can, without your normal summon, activate its effect, and kind of get going even if you didn't have a normal summon in your hand. So it's basically just another normal summon. So we play like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 normal summons and a couple ways to get there out of searching and whatnot. So 1-for-1's a good option if you happen to have it. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it for your deck. But if you manage to pick it up in a good trade or you have it lying around, it's definitely a good option. Then we do play 2 blue eyes. You can't really cut this for like because of banishing, people banishing your cards. And also a jet dragon, and then let me get the rest of these out of the way. 1 mausoleum, 1 ultimate, 1 true light, and 1 majesty. So blue eyes pretty standard. Most people play at 2. I think most all of them play at 2. Jet dragon is really, really good. This comes back every time something's destroyed, no matter if it's your opponent's field or your own field. And it returns a card to the hand during the damage step. So you can, you have this after something's destroyed. Let's say you're playing as Ryziel and the activate detonator. You drop this, boom, attack it to the detonator, send it back to hand. No way for them to bring it back unless it's like, they make it again. But yeah. Then the Mausoleum standard and Ultimate Fusion. This card is amazing. I think I'm going to play it even when I get my Invoke Day engine. This saved me in so many occasions. The effect to pop is so good because I had a lot of situations where I was in a grind game, long game. I still had my true light, and I would bring blue eyes back from the grave with true light, and I had searched this like turns prior and drop it, fusion summon, and pop cards equals the number of blue eyes white dragons you use that are used as material from your field. So let's say I had these 2. I drop the ultimate fusion, fuse these 2 away. They do get shuffled into the deck, so that's something you have to keep in mind. Some of your other cards are not going to be live if these are if they're shuffled, because you end up shuffling the jet dragon and whatnot. And then you pop a card and you drop Tyrant Dragon, which is just a great monster to have to kind of close games out. But yeah, Ultimate Fusion is really good. I don't think I would cut it anytime soon. Maybe as I play more games, I get more comfortable. True Light standard, kind of the heart and soul aside from the tuners. You got a lot of grind game from this card, a lot of longevity. It's really, really good. And finally, Majesty. This card's just broken. Non-target pop. You can set up to have 2 pops. You can reset over your Tyrant Dragon. It's searchable. It's just a great card to kind of start breaking your opponent's board, setting up turn 1. And yeah, that's like all of the Blue Eyes engine stuff. Pretty standard if you're playing pure. Ultimate Fusion is so good. I definitely recommend it if you haven't given it a spin. And then I'm getting into the non-engine. Originally, now I'm playing two Ghost Ogre. I got them from a guy at my locals. He was very gracious enough to trade them to me. They're also the alt art, which is, I think, really, really nice. But originally I was playing Foolish Burial and Ghost Mourner because it's what I had. This card's not very good. It came up like once, but a judge had to come in and be like, no, you have to activate it like prior to special summon to negate anything. And Foolish Burial is good in theory, because you get to send your Maiden, you can send your Blue Eyes, you can send Jet Dragon, but it's more of a, like, you don't really want to start with this. It's more of like a complement to, if you already have like a decent enough combo, you can set your Jet Dragon off of it, to have in the grave, to, when something's destroyed, bring it back during your opponent's turn. But these are just what I had at the time. But yeah, 2 Ghost Ogre, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, searchable off of almost anything in your engine, because it's a level 1 light tuner, 3 Infib, 1 Bistral Druis Worm. I'm missing the Magnamut, Pizza Hut. I would probably cut like Master for the Magna Hut when I get it, but you play Bistrals, they're really good synergy. They're just really good overall. And 1 Called By. Everything here except for the Druis Worm and the Ghost Ogre comes in the structure deck. So you have a really, really good set of hand traps, just right out of the box. This is nothing new. The structure deck's been out for a while. But yeah, this is kind of standard, aside from the Ghost Ogre, and the Druis Worm. But yeah, I'm just waiting on the Magna Hut to kind of complete my hand trap set. Now for the extra deck, this is where I would make the most changes. I was playing 2 Tyrant. I would consider cutting 1. Most of the time, only 1 came up. 1 Neo. Just you equip it. You have target protection from the grave. It's really good. People forget about it, or like they try to draw it out first, and it just saves you a lot. 1 Ultimate Spirit Dragon. I would probably call the Tyrant Dragon for a second one of these. It's just really good. I always had moments where I wish I had more. You can recycle it with your Ultimate Fusion, because you can shuffle a Blue Eyes and any dragon into the deck. So you put this back in the extra deck, so you can recycle it, which is really, really useful. But yeah, I would definitely play 2 of these, cut 1 of these probably, or maybe not, as we get deeper into the extra deck. I am playing the Crimson Dragon package. It's not that great. There was a lot of games where I could have theoretically been able to go into them, but you're always scared of Nibiru, and this is just kind of win more. If you're summoning, if your opponent lets you get to these, you've already won the game, I think, because they have no interruption. But, I pulled this from like one of the tins. It's a QCR, Quarter Century Secret Rare, or something like that. It's shiny, it's cool, and when you get them on the field, like, this is really, really good synergy. Like, negate and destroy something. It protects all your monsters, so even if they're destroyed by True Light's effect to send everything to the graveyard, this protects them. This protects everything one time per turn, which is amazing. I don't think these are very good, but when you're able to summon them, they are definitely really, really good. For now, I won't cut them. I am thinking of like trying to find a Black Rose Moonlight Dragon to kind of take over this spot over here for these cards, because I think it's just easier to get out and kind of like more threatening immediately, because it's not as telegraphed. But yeah, these are like the high level synchros, and then I'm playing 3 of the Spirit Dragon. This also comes in the structure deck. That's 2, didn't mention that, but standard, people play 2. I would probably play 2 as I start getting more of my extra deck cards. But this is really good. Quick effect to tribute itself and summon any Synchro Dragon from your deck. Or almost any Synchro Dragon from your deck. It's really, really good. Negate anything in the graveyard. Just great card. I'm playing a Lightstorm Dragon and an Azure Silver Dragon. This is the other card I would consider cutting. Probably cut this over Tyrant Dragon, because this came up a lot more than... I never summoned this once at all. It does come in the structure deck, so if you're like kind of have to fill up spots, it's not a bad option per se. But it's definitely one of the first cards you want to replace. A classic, but not that great. Lightstorm Dragon came up a lot. I played against an Odeon player, and I did play against a what's this deck called? Dinomorphia, that's what it is. Where this would have been really good. I just almost never had a time where he would let me go into the Spirit Dragon to kind of drop this on him. But really good against back row. This deck doesn't really have much back row removal, so I think this is, I don't want to say indispensable, but it's very important, especially if you're just playing like locals and stuff. You're gonna play against trap decks probably, so might as well have this. It's just a common from Supreme Darkness, so it's pretty easy to get. And then I think I dropped my other Spirit, but I'm playing 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue and 1 Seals. I would probably play 2 Seals and get rid of the Azure Eyes. That's what I'm thinking of doing as of right now. And then cutting 1 Tyrant for the second Ultimate Dragon. But this is pretty standard, the 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Some people play it at 3 or are talking about playing it at 3. It's a really good card. Just it summons your Blue Eyes. It can summon your Jet Dragon, albeit negated. But if you kind of have it in hand, it's a good way to get out of your hand and then maybe just link off into Seals, put in the graveyard so you can have it for next turn for its effect. But yeah, these are the 2 cards that I'd probably cut, and then I'd add a Seals and another Ultimate. But that's it for the extra deck. My locals was really fun. It was really a great experience. I played against national, regional champions in my region. I held my own against Malice and Ryziel, even though it was the first time I even played against these people, like these decks. Because I mostly played Master Duel format. Neither of those are in Master Duel yet. I had no side deck. I'm in the process of building my side deck. I got a couple cards. Waiting on some I ordered. Waiting on some I traded for, or like I bought off of people at locals. Um, but Blue Eyes is really, really fun. It's really good. I played against a Ryziel round 1. It was just 3 rounds. Ryziel round 1. Dinomorphia Supreme King kind of weird ass deck. Don't show the Supreme King cards to a Magic the Gathering player or someone who hasn't played since GX era. They would literally die on the spot. But I had a really back and forth set with the Dinomorphia player. 3 really long games. But Blue Eyes has an excellent grind game when it's pure. There were a lot of times where I just ran the Dinomorphia player out of resources, even though he would set like 5 and have cards in his Pendulum Zone, like protecting him with the Supreme King cards and like bringing them back and monsters with 4,000 attack. Granted, almost every time they drew the trap that would summon fusion summon from extra deck, I had a Ash Blossom, so it was pretty fortunate. But some really close games. That was the first like set I ever won out of locals. I had won games before, but I that's the first like best 2 out of 3 I won, and it was really, really tight. Everybody gathered around and started watching because it was the last game going on in that round. Go figure, when the other players playing stun, he skill drained me. He Dinomorphia'd me. He would Solemn Judgmented me a little bit. You know what I mean. He would just flip traps all over and kind of prevent me from playing, but we pulled through. Beat him twice, lost once, and it was a really, really close game. And then round 3, I played against the current national champion for my country or nation or region, whatever you would call it. He was playing Malice. It was the first time I played against Malice ever. And we had a couple, first game he kind of bricked, just opened Bestials and like a couple hand traps. But I held my own throughout the game. It was just, since my inexperience with the Malice matchup was showing, I kind of, whenever a Malice started hitting the field, I kind of lost control of the game because I wasn't really clear on what I should interrupt or not. But I did hold my own. Blue Eyes has an excellent grind game, so I was able to like not make it easy for him. I did get 2-0'd against him, but it was overall very, very back and forth and satisfying to play, even though I did lose. I could have played a lot better, for sure. And now that I have this much experience under my belt, I'm very much like looking forward to just playing more and getting better with Blue Eyes. I'm sure they won't get hit in the next ban list. That's probably, hopefully, coming soon. Hopefully they don't hit Basil Magnamut before I get to play him in my deck. But yeah, that was my experience at locals. I'm currently building my side deck right now, like I said. Just missing a couple cards. So I didn't side at all the entire tournament, which is honestly the fact that the games were close, even though people got to side deck, but I didn't, I'm very proud of. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. This was 30 minutes long. I am so sorry. I did not mean this to go on this long, but yeah, I am really happy with how these things turned out. The deck is really fun, really good. 3 structure decks and like a couple cards here and there. Most of my deck is just literally stuff I had from when I was a kid and 3 structure decks. So it's never been a better time to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! I did it. People are really nice. People are always happy to see new players come into the game. So definitely, if you've been on the fence to play Yu-Gi-Oh, pick up Blue Eyes. It's a blast. It's competitive. It's nostalgic. It's really fun. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Thank you so much for watching this. I don't think anybody's gonna watch this, but yeah. Thank you. I'm going to try maybe doing more videos that are probably maybe shorter, and try to update, make an update when I get my new cards on the deck list and whatnot. So yeah, maybe stay tuned for that, and I'll hopefully see you guys around. Um, bye. I don't know how to do an outro.